because people really get to see like who you are, and I think sometimes artists are told to be one way and not the other. It's like, oh, be yourself, but like not too much. Like just be yourself just enough so that we can sell you, but just like not too much so people think you're weird. And I'm like, well, I'm all of that, so this is gonna be interesting. Yeah.
I've been closing for your love for some time now. Take your time, baby, just take your time now. You'll see that I'm very precious. You'll see that
I'm Styles with SipWithStylez podcast. I'm here today interviewing all the artists, all the backup staff, and honestly, I'm just the face in front of the camera to give you guys a good energy. Follow me at Styles So Real on Instagram.
I've been waiting for this love to love.
Welcome back. I am Styles from SipWithStylez, and we are sitting with Nicole. We are excited. And first, can I say that after taking in your tracks, your sound is so dope.
Thank you.
Now, let's just jump into it. Who are some of the artists that you look up to?
I really love Marvin Gaye right now. I love his harmonies. I love his sound. I love his dynamic. I think it's really influenced my music in the last little bit. Always going to be a huge fan of Erykah Badu and Jill Scott as well. So yeah, I feel like that's the realm that I'm in right now.
And how do you feel that these artists have helped shape you and your sound?
Yeah, I think Erykah Badu and Jill Scott for sure really helped and influenced my songwriting abilities. And that R&B neo soul vibe that I really love, and just discovering their music really just transformed me and my sound as an artist over the years. Yeah.
So how do you feel that? Was it listening to these women with a dope pen? Is that what helped your writing, or do you feel that listening to them you just felt more free?
Yeah, both. Exactly. Yeah, I felt more free. I felt heard. I felt seen. As a Black woman, for sure. Yeah.
No, I love that because especially as a fan of all of the artists that you name, including Marvin Gaye, but it's just like I know that those sounds are different, but they're true to who they are. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's the fact that some people appreciate that and they want to go back into what I would say making real music is again. It's so uncommon. So I want to just jump in to your next question. Where does your true love of music derive from?
I would say from harmonizing with my mom in the car on her way to church for her choir rehearsals. That's really what did it for me. I loved it. It was like a nice little quality time. I just loved like being around the other women in the choir and just hearing the band playing. It was great. So from there, when I met my high school music teacher, he was the one that really pushed me and was like, "Yeah, I think you should like pursue this." And I was like, "No, it's kind of crazy. Like we don't really do that in my family. I don't know. I'll probably have to do something else." He's like, "No, I think if you have a gift, I think this is something that's just worth pursuing. Like just see what's out there for you, and the rest is history." Yeah.
How do you feel that with that guidance you were able to nurture your talent, because it's a craft and you have to work at your craft, but how do you feel you also nurtured and developed that hunger to want to pursue this?
Oh man. I I feel like just being in the right place at the right time. If that makes sense. I feel like I met a lot of really dope artists when I went to Mohawk College for jazz vocals for 4 years. Like every year, I feel like we all leveled up and we all really tried to push ourselves, and that was like a whole other realm of musicians, of like artistry, of just like developing my sound.
Now, going back to speaking on your time in the choir, now that would be something I would say more so helped you with the actual vocal side of everything. Let's speak. Tell us more about how singing in the choir really helped push you into.
So I wasn't singing in the choir. I was watching my mom.
It was
really,
mom in the
my
choir.
Mom that was the one that helped me really. I feel like develop my harmonization skills for sure. She just listened to like everybody from Kirk Franklin to BB and CC, Donnie McClurkin, like all the really like big OGs, and that I feel like just through that, like watching them rehearse and us having our car time, that really pushed me. Like I think even her, she's like, I'm so surprised this happened to you, but at the same time, I'm the one to blame for the way you are, and I'm like exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's nice to get that acknowledgement from her. I'm sure that because like you said, it's something that you both love so much in that bond that you guys built over it. Now we spoke a bit, and this is gonna be a little bit more for you to dive into, but we spoke a bit about you wanted to be more vulnerable as an artist, and then personally when it comes to you and your craft. So what would you say you would like to work on when it comes to your vulnerability as a person first, and then how would that tie into your art?
I feel like the last project has really pushed me to be more vulnerable. To talk about topics about relationships and like love. It's a subject I don't really feel like I love to engage in. But I feel like over the last little bit, I've had different experiences throughout my life, and I feel like that has really um, helped me just develop a different perspective for the previous project. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, because I remember you saying that it is such a powerful thing. Why do you feel that vulnerability is such a powerful force?
Because people really get to see like who you are, and I think sometimes artists are told to be one way and not the other. It's like, oh, be yourself, but like not too much. Like just be yourself just enough so that we can sell you, but just like not too much so people think you're weird. And I'm like, well, I'm all of that, so this is going to be interesting. So I just kind of did what I had to do for this project. I feel like I just was like, no, I just need to tell my story. And sometimes my story is positive, and sometimes it's about pain and like heartbreak, and that's okay because it's my story. Like I can't write anyone else's. This is my life. I have to be true and authentic to me. So I think for the first time in a long time, I've been trying to work hard at being extremely vulnerable with my feelings and not holding back or reserving myself, like I feel like I was maybe taught to. Yeah.
And I don't feel like you're alone in that, teaching of reserving and maybe just holding things and biding and right. So I don't think that you should hold anything towards that, but it's beautiful to see that you're coming out of that shell and growing and centering yourself as an artist. I would love for you to speak on the project because like you said, it's a lot of you. It's about topics you don't necessarily get into. So like, for instance, when did you know you wanted to create that side of your story? Because it is that side of it to your side of the story, right?
Yeah, exactly. So my previous project was called Love Had Other Plans. And funny enough, when I finished my project before that, Voice of a Virgo, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I guess I'll take a little break. I guess I don't really have anything to write as the release was coming closer. And I remember I just was like in bed one day, I was just like watching The Office, like a normal wind down thing I do. And I started to like sing this melody, and I was like, okay, cool. That's nice. I didn't do anything with it, but it kept bugging me like everywhere in the shower, on my walks, didn't matter. And I was like, oh my God, crap. Like, clearly I have more work to do. And I think for me, I felt like a voice just be like, you're not done yet. Like the story's not done yet. We're not just gonna leave it here. This is not where your life stops. Why did you think that the story was gonna stop? And then all of a sudden it became this like beautiful love project, and it was just about how I want to be loved, how I feel love looks like for me, how even if I don't have this love yet, I'm anticipating it, and I know that it's going to be the love of like the lifetime. It's going to be all the things that I've wanted to manifest and that I've been trying to heal myself to be ready for that kind of love. So I was just hoping that would portray throughout the entire project. From Voice of a Virgo, which was very much so like, I'm done with this, I'm leaving this in the past, no more heartbreak, no more pain, no more, situationships, no more any of that. Like, I want to be in a new chapter. I want to be in a soft era. So, yeah.
So, because soft era is something we hear about. So when you say let's get your side though, because
Yeah.
I know what society says, I know what social media
Yeah.
will tell you, but what does your side of soft era look like?
Oh, it's just like even just being in this space and it's like light pink, like that's so interesting to me. Like, even that, because sometimes I'm just like, oh, like that's too. I'm just like, oh, that's so like lovey-dovey. It's too like feminine, and just even embracing my feminine. I feel like I work a lot like in my masculine. I feel like I'm so used to having like armor on, and I'm so used to just having like my guard up with like anybody and like anything. And I feel like for the last little bit, I've had to learn to just kind of accept people into my life, let them help me, right? Let other people show up for me. Like I don't have to do everything by myself. That for me is my soft era, because I'm so used to doing everything by myself, planning everything out by myself, and just relying on myself. And within that year that I kept feeling this calling of like I have something new to present, like now as in 2023 now, because I was what 2020 at the time, yeah. So I just remember feeling like I just remember being with like different people in my life at that time, and them just showing me like how they show up and their love languages, and it was so different for me. I was like, wow, like I do deserve love. I do deserve um, peace of mind. Like it's okay to ask people for help, because I don't really do that. And even some of my friends had to call me out that year too. And they were like, we know you think you ask for help, but you don't really ask for help. We just kind of let you be. We'll just stand by like, okay, when she's ready. But I had to just adapt to that too, because I didn't even realize I was that, you know?
I think
Yeah.
I think your friends did it the right way.
Yeah.
Letting you come to that
Yeah.
decision on your own.
Yeah.
But it's nice to hear that not only are you trying to change your art for that vulnerability, but your personal life.
Yeah.
Because people, we aren't meant to do this alone. You know what I mean? We aren't meant to have to go through these struggles and have to do everything alone. So I would like to give you your flowers. A, as an artist, but B, as someone acknowledging the fact that they're working on themselves, and that
every day
that life is going to change, and life is going to throw its obstacles at you. But because we spoke on your project coming up, but what are your takeaways? What is it you want that young man or the young woman or that old man or that old woman listening to? What is you want their takeaway to be from the new project?
That I'm still learning how to be patient. I'm still learning to go with the flow of life, because it's like another thing for me. I feel like I always have to like have this level of control, but I don't need to have that. There's always like a higher plan for me, and it's not always your business to know where life will carry you or where your love story will carry you. Just like be in the moment, just like embrace it. I'm trying to think more about the project, because I literally just wrapped it up as of like this week.
Ooh.
Yeah. I just wrapped it up as of this week. So I'm trying to go through my little track list in my head and think, but yeah, it's just again just more highlighting like how I feel this love will present itself to me when it's ready to present itself to me. And I feel like in conclusion of like the project as it all came together was, like I said, when I started this little list of things, was just patience, and as you said too, like vulnerability. I hope that's what people get from this. They can see and feel that, wow, she was a lot more vulnerable in this project. She gave a little bit more of her heart. We got to kind of see a little bit of this full circle journey now that she's had with Project 1 and soon Project 2. And I feel like we as in like the producers and other musicians that helped me, I feel like we did a really good job with that. Yeah, I'm excited.
And I want to just say thank you for coming and sharing with us. Before we get out of here, though, do we have an idea of when to look out for that project, or are you just still TBD on it?
The best I can say is spring right now.
Spring's great.
Yeah.
Spring's great.
That's like what I can say.
So you guys tap in for spring, for Nicole's project coming up. Follow Tasty Music TO on Instagram, and February 24th, tickets will be available come January. Thank you so much.